It looks like big changes are on the horizon for former light heavyweight champion Sergey the Crusher Kovalev. And this news isn't new to anyone who's been following Sergey for the last, couple fights last year or so. We know that him and John David Jackson hasn't always got along. There seems to be a lack of respect between those two. Sergey, being from Russia, seems to want to be the alpha male, control the training camp, do his own workouts, and just do things his way. And although I wouldn't say JDJ is an elite trainer, he's a very good trainer who has a lot to offer in the sport of boxing. He's a former fighter. He's been in the ring with, some of the best guys in his career. He's trained some quality fighters, and he still has a lot left to give to some up-and-coming champions and some fighters that his personality just meshes well. The match between him and Sergey just wasn't a good enough match for long-term success. They had some success, of course, when he won the title, defeating Nathan cleverly, and then when he got his biggest win of his career against the all-time great Bernard Hopkins. But after, he went up against Ward twice, losing both times, and it really probably started back when he fought Isaac Chilemba in Russia, where he didn't look as good, although he got the victory. And there was rumblings then, Sergey would start training camp, and JDJ would just join him whenever, and it's time to go, separate ways. As you all know, last week Virgil did express interest in training Sergey Kovalev, and that Sergey got wind of that and is interested in that possibility only under the right circumstances. And this is what he had to say about potentially joining, Virgil Hunter's stable. He said, "Ward's trainer has offered to work with me. It's an interesting proposal. I asked my manager to find out if all of this is true and under what conditions. Will Ward remain at his current weight, as I've heard that he wants to move up? If me and him have the same trainer and we are both in the same weight division, then it doesn't make sense. But I do need a new trainer. I've already made a decision on this for myself." So he told this to reporters in Russia, which he does make a good point. If both guys are in the same weight division with the same trainer, it just doesn't make sense, because obviously both guys are moving up in weight to become champions. And it's kind of hard to do that when you're being trained by, the same trainer. Even though they could do it, but eventually it could lead to a potential third match. And obviously, if push came to shove, Virgil Hunter is going to choose Andre Ward, because he's been with him since he was 12 or 13 years old. So it's all about how it's pretty much Ward affects that decision and whether or not Sergey joins Hunter in California and selects him to be his new trainer. Also, we've seen in the last two outings that Sergey Kovalev just doesn't have good stamina as of late at 175. He's a big guy. We've heard a lot of rumors about his downtime in between fights, whether he's indulging in alcohol, excessive eating. We seen him, in the press conference leading up to the fight or before, to announce the rematch. He was real big, real heavy, out of shape. You could tell that he had been enjoying, life, which you can't blame him, but you got to stay in tip-top shape if you're going to remain at the top of this, boxing, elite boxing status. So you have to be always in tip-top shape, ready to go, not far off weight, where you don't have to really kill yourself to lose the weight and make the weight. All you're doing is just easing into it, and then you can just work on strategy and improving your skill level. But he says that looking at me and pertaining to his weight, how him being tired has affected, or him having to make light heavyweight has affected his last two performances. He says, "Looking at me, you can see that my physical endurance has diminished due to the shedding of weight. Maybe it makes sense to change my weight category and my next fight may be as a cruiserweight. I usually lose 10 to 11 kilograms, around 24 pounds, and my body becomes exhausted. I feel more comfortable when I'm weighing as much as 85 kilograms, which is 187 pounds, because when I'm weighing less than that, the problem begins. So he mentioned about getting a new, physical and strength and conditioning coach, which could be a help, but he did that for the rematch. I think maybe he hit the nail on the head. It's time for him to move up to cruiserweight. He's a big puncher. He's still a very good fighter. Arguably, he's still a top 10 talent, top 10 pound for pound talent guy. But whether he remains in the top 10 pound for pound rankings is another a topic. But if he does move to cruiserweight, there are some very exciting fights for him. There are some winnable fights, and maybe down the line he gets a rematch with Andre Ward. If he's a titleist, and it brings interest from fight fans to see how he's progressed. If he's, had his condition under control, he's improved, and how he looks beating, some of those guys at cruiserweight. But I think it's a good move for Kovalev, who at least is being honest with himself and saying that, yeah, I do need a new trainer. I do need to probably move up in weight. I do need to get better condition-wise so I could, have, better success in these grueling fights, because it's going to only get harder at cruiserweight because he's dealing with guys who's naturally bigger than him, just as strong, if not stronger than him, just as skilled as him. So he's definitely going to need to be in tip-top condition to compete in these grueling fights. But hopefully we get a concrete answer on Sergey Kovalev and his plans in the next few weeks or next few months. If you like this video, subscribe to Colossal Boxing Talk, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to turn on those notifications to get notified every time I upload a video. Leave those comments in the comment section below telling me who would you like to see train Sergey Kovalev if it's not Virgil Hunter, and what do you think he'll do at cruiserweight if he indeed does move up. Follow us on Twitter at Colossal CBT. Head over to Facebook, smack that like button on the Colossal Boxing Talk Facebook page. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.